At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the Pittsburgh Pirates. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Geico, over 75 years of savings and service. By Tri Honda, hurry to your local Tri Honda dealer for great deals on 2016 models. By Optimum, presenting Mets games in crystal clear HD. By Good Humor, get sweet treats from Good Humor at the concession stand and look for the official ice cream truck in your neighborhood this summer, June 2nd to the 26th. And by Bob's Discount Furniture, shop in-store or online at mybobs.com. You know, the fans are true to the orange and blue. And orange and blue or any other color, the bats were working last night. The Mets banged out a season-high 19 hits, and Terry Collins asking his team for a little more of that tonight. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Ron Darling, Keith Hernandez with you tonight as the Mets play the rubber game of their series against the Pirates. Sobering news for the Mets today. Their captain, David Wright, is undergoing surgery on his neck for a herniated disc. No telling how long he'll be out. It might be a couple of months. It might be the rest of the season. But it's a crossroads, and another one for David Wright, who has been so often plagued by injury over the last few years, is dealing with the spinal stenosis and now this latest surgery.
Well, you know, you look at his numbers right there, first in all categories, only 10 behind Darryl Strawberry in home runs. And you know something, when you're a major league player and you played this game since you were a little kid and that was your dream, David's not thinking about that. He's thinking about the love of the game he loves to play. And right now, it's at a point where there's a lot of question. I have a feeling you're just not going to want to give it up. You're going to want to come back. Obviously, he's out the rest of the year. You're going to want to come back next year and try it and see if you can still do it. But at the same token, if he can't perform at the same level, then he's going to have a big decision to make, Gary.
Everybody who knows David and everybody who's watched him play has great affection for him and certainly hopes for nothing for the best from David, but there's just no way of knowing what is ahead for him.
You know, we're supposed to analyze baseball up here, and sometimes things happen that are bigger than the game. And for us up here in the booth, you know, you're talking about one of the greatest Mets ever. If you didn't know him as a baseball player, you'd like to know him as a person. You wish him well as he's going through this difficult time. 36 games played last year, 37 this year. I don't even know how he can handle being at this tough crossroads. Well,
the Mets will have to figure out a way to replace him, but that's a topic for another conversation. On the mound tonight for the Mets is Bartolo Colon at age 43. Seems to be getting better.
He just keeps on trucking, doesn't he? Five runs in his last 25 innings pitched, 2-0, coming off a win in Milwaukee.
And Juan Nicasio, who pitched maybe his best game of the season against the Mets last week, will face them again tonight.
He went 5+ innings, struck out 7. He has been wild, though, all season long, and threw 44 pitches in his last assignment, which was in relief.
So the Mets looking for the rubber game against the Pirates after dropping 2 out of 3 in Pittsburgh last week. Mets and Bucks, all the action coming your way tonight on SNY. June 19th, when the Mets take on the Braves at 1:10. All fathers and kids 12 and under will receive a Mets cap presented by Nathan's Famous. And after the game, all kids 12 and under can run the bases in the Mr. Met Dash, courtesy of Northwell Health. For tickets, visit Mets.com/Family Sundays. Tonight's Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Wilmer Flores has been the replacement for David Wright at third base over the first 2 weeks of David's DL tenure, and he has performed quite nicely, hitting .375, big home run last night, drove in 4 runs, and he will try and keep that going given the opportunity at third base. The Mets welcome Dead & Company to Citi Field on Saturday, June 25th and Sunday, June 26th. Original Grateful Dead members are united with an all-star cast, including John Mayer. For tickets, visit Mets.com/Dead & Company. Bartolo Colon gets set for the start. Rubber game with the Pirates. First pitch is coming right up. Set the night in motion, his 13th start of the year, and hope to get as much offensive support as Noah Syndergaard did last night. Here's the Pirates starting lineup, brought to you by Hyundai. No Starling Marte after he got hit in the face by a one-hopper off the bat of Yoenis Cespedes last night. And so Matt Joyce plays left field, and McCutchen, who was moved to the 3-hole last night, remains there tonight for Clint Hurdle's Pirates.
Well, Bartolo's been unbelievably consistent. Very nice audio.
That surprised me.
First pitch to Josh Harrison, grounded toward the hole. Sliding stop Cabrera. No chance to throw out the speedy Harrison. And on the first pitch of the game, Josh Harrison has an infield hit.
Just out of the reach of Vilma. And no chance to throw out Harrison. Just way too much speed.
So a leadoff base runner for the Pirates, and now Gregory Polanco hitting second in the order after the flip-flop yesterday by Clint Hurdle.
He's taken the best at-bats in the 5 games that the Mets have played against the Bucks.
Had a great game The final game of the series in Pittsburgh. He's 2 for 7 in this series. Tied for the National League lead in doubles with 22. Harrison gets back to the bag.
I was walking to the car after the game. My car after the game last night. He was in front of me, Polanco. That's a strong man.
Yeah.
Tall, lean, and strong.
Colon keeping a short halter on Harrison, who has 12 stolen bases, 5th in the National League. Colon has always been difficult to run against. Really controls it well with both his move and his times to the plate. He's got Rene Rivera behind the plate tonight.
Polanco last night had trouble with that. Well, a lot of people do, so nothing to be ashamed of. Syndergaard's slider down and in, out of the strike zone. See if Bartolo tries to exploit that weakness.
And Polanco takes a strike, boxed by Rivera, but he stays with it. Harrison doesn't move. 1-1.
Even though Polanco struck out a couple of times on that slider, he managed a base hit, and remember, he hit a bullet to first base. A nice play by Loney.
Despite their win in the opening game of the series on Tuesday night, the Pirates are in some tough times right now. They've lost 13 of their last 18 games.
You can see Loney right there, both feet in the field of play, which technically we know that because of Whitey Herzog, what he did back in the 80s. To me, is the only person that can be in foul territory is the catcher. I only held a runner on like Loney's doing with my left foot on the line if it was a slow runner, never a fast runner.
So you have your right foot on the bag and be turned.
I would be square like he is. It's absolutely perfect.
Slowly hit. Into play it is Walker. He'll have to go to first with it. Thought about Harrison, but figured that ball was so slowly hit he'd get the sure out at first.
I thought he had trouble with the exchange. Was I wrong here?
I don't think you're wrong. I think he definitely was going to second base. Just couldn't get a grip. Let's check it out.
It's hard to tell right there.
Neil Walker's first game back in the lineup after missing the last 3 games.
He had him. He had him at second base if there was not a problem with his grip.
So a runner in scoring position for Andrew McCutchen, who's had a very rough time of it. 0 for 7 in this series. McCutchen now 0 for his last 17, matching his longest 0 for of his career. Average down to 234 for the former MVP. That's put 3 infielders on the left side against him. Harrison dancing off second as he generally does. And McCutchen takes up and in for ball 1. Harrison is a pest.
Yes, he is. And he's quick, and he's one of those table setters. I don't like him in the middle of the order when Hurdle has him hitting 6th. I like him in the top of the order where he can create havoc.
I mean, I would imagine, Ronnie, all that dancing for a younger pitcher can really be distracting. I would imagine it doesn't have the same effect on Colon.
Well, I think Colon knows that it doesn't really matter how far he gets off. Once he gets him to stop, he's so quick to the plate, he's not going to have a chance to steal. So Colon just to make sure he varies his looks. He'll look in, he'll look twice.
That is Walker behind Harrison, not Cabrera. It's a big shift on the left side of the infield on McCutchen. As you can see, all 3 of the infielders, just Loney all over by himself over there. No man is an island.
Well, we see more and more of this year against right-hand hitters. The shifts, which first came into vogue against the left-hand hitters, are starting to become more prevalent against right-hand batters. Colon ahead on McCutchen, 1-2. And he reaches for it and pops it up. Loney back, Granderson in. Granderson will have the call. And he's got it for the second out as Harrison stays put, 2 away.
And we'll finally get around to your Metropolitan defense. Oh my gosh. Brought to you by Lexus. They throw a curveball. Conforto back in the lineup. He missed 3 ball games, 3 starts. Walker back in the game on the infield. He also missed 3 starts with the back issue. Rivera behind the plate. Wow.
So 2 out. Harrison still at second. Here's Jung Ho Gong, 2 for 7 in this series, including a 2-run home run Tuesday night. He's obviously off to a tremendous start to his season after missing the first 5 weeks with the bat. But I've been surprised how well he's played defensively.
Great range to his left. His arm is very strong. Good hands.
Good hands. I'm very curious about the Korean pronunciation with the name spelled Kang, an American K-A-N-G, but pronounced Gong.
He lines one toward the left field line. Conforto diving, and he made the catch. Tremendous play by Michael Conforto. Remember, he's got the bad left wrist, and it didn't seem to affect him at all as he went flat out on the backhand and makes a sparkling play to rob Gong and save a run. Well, they were hoping to get his bat back, but what a glove.
What a play.
Geico, Neil Walker and Michael Conforto each missed 3 starts. They're both back in there in the 4 and 5 slots tonight, making the Med lineup looking a little more formidable. But how much more formidable can they be than the 19 hits they put together last night?
Well, they're going to have to be more formidable than they were against Nicasio the last time he pitched against them. 7 strikeouts in 5 innings pitched. But in his 12 starts this year, 6 times he's given up 4 runs or more.
Curtis Granderson 3 for 9 in this series. And as we noted last night, after his base hit first time up last night, he's hitting .367 his first at bat of the game in the leadoff spot. So despite his relatively low batting average overall, he's done a great job getting games off to a good start. Not just the 5 leadoff home runs he's hit.
There's a shift on Granderson, which we see all the time. And Terry, the last, during this series, with the injuries, kind of bounced him around. He hit 3rd one day, first game of this series, hit 2nd one time. He always back into the leadoff role.
1-2 from Nicasio, and he misses away. Nicasio, 5 strong innings against the Mets 9 days ago, allowed just to run on 3 hits, but then was forced to pitch in relief Friday against the Cardinals. He got lit up for 6 runs in an inning of work, which pushed his start back to tonight. And the fastball just misses. And it's 3-2.
Nicasio thought he had it there.
Yeah, Trip Gibson right now, the home plate umpire, not giving anything on that outside part. Pretty good pitch, and Kratz thought it was too.
Let's see if he moves his glove in. He held it. Well, it's a tad.
3-2 to Curtis. And he hits it in the air to deep right field. Back goes Polanco for a look, but it's out of here. For the 6th time this season, Curtis Granderson leads off the first inning with a home run. He now has the Mets' career record, his 17th leadoff home run as a Met, and the 41st of his career. knack.
Look. Nicasio did not get the call on 2-2, came back with the same pitch, but had a little more plate, and Granderson took advantage of it.
So the Mets off and running again. Here's Asdrubal Cabrera.
Fastball away. Thought he had strike 3 the pitch prior, and this is a strike, and Granderson covers it.
13th home run of the year for Curtis.
And it took, what, this is Grandy's 3rd year as a Met. It took him, what, 3 years to break Jose's leadoff home run record.
Well, Reyes was a Met for almost 9 years.
Yep.
1-2 to Cabrera. Well, Curtis, when he first came to the Mets, was cast as the cleanup hitter. But last year became the leadoff man, and what a year he had. He's endured a couple of tough months this year as Nicasio crowds Cabrera and strikes him out for the first out.
Here's the bomb again. No doubt about it. And look, Curtis, look at the reaction to Nicasio. He knew it. Notice in the background, though, Curtis wasn't sure. He busted out of that box.
Always does.
Yes, he does.
Worst.
That Mets home run means $2,000 for No Kid Hungry, enough to provide 20,000 healthy meals courtesy of Citi.
Worst part of that for a pitcher is that the umpire comes out and throws you a new ball, and all you want to say to him is, "Give me the ball, fool."
Oh. Sounded like a little Mr. T there. Here's Cespedes, who stung the ball 4 times last night. It looks like he's right back in the groove.
He got back in the groove in Milwaukee, Gary, and that series in Milwaukee. There's the umpires right there. Trip Gibson, the rookie.
Jerry Lane, the crew chief, working at first. Wendelstedt and May with them. Slider off the plate. 2-0 to Cespedes, who's 3 for 7 in this series, and over the last 7 games now hitting .414. There's a little more support in the lineup with Walker and Conforto back in there tonight. Walker hitting cleanup behind him. And Nicasio falls behind 3-0. Even takes a rip, and it's outside, ball 4, and Cespedes is on with a 4-pitch walk.
And the Pirate defense, and that's always Coors Light time. Matt Joyce getting a start in left field. Of course, Marte got the ball off of his cheekbone. Kang at third, same infield. David Freese gets the start at first base. The former Cardinal, World Series hero Eric Kratz behind the plate.
So here's Neil Walker, who was going through some lower back issues the last few days, but saw the doctor yesterday and was pronounced good to go tonight, and he's back in the lineup for the first time since Saturday when he had to leave the game in Milwaukee and getting to play one more game against his old team after his notable homecoming last week in Pittsburgh. Mets put up a 3 spot in the first inning last night. They've already got a run home in the first inning tonight. In fact, the Mets had 3 3-run innings last night, which was as many 3-run innings as they'd had in their previous 36 games combined. It was a true breakout night for the Mets offense.
Everybody got a hit in the starting lineup except Syndergaard, and everybody was in double digits in hits except Loney. Loney only had 1.
Now, the Mets had all manner of hits last night, but what was interesting was how many hits they had to the opposite field when the Pirates were shifting. And was, I guess what I'd have to ask you, Keith, is whether that seemed to be a matter of design or just good fortune.
To me, Gary, if you're going to, the big issue to me is if you're going to play a shift, it's to pitch him in and play him to pull, or pitch him away and play him away. They pitched away when they were playing pull with the shift, and it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, if you're going to, if I was playing and a team put a shift on me, I'm going to expect to be pitched in, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Now Walker's a guy who we've seen teams shift against, but the Pirates did not shift him. But now with 2 strikes, they are going to put a shift on.
Which to me doesn't make sense.
Because you figure with 2 strikes, you cut down your swing.
And you go up the middle. Yeah, protect the plate. And Walker's that kind of hitter.
Cespedes at first and 1 out. 1-2 to Neal. And he pops it up right near the plate. Kratz sheds the mask. Wow. And that's the 2nd out.
Well, didn't have to move Kratz.
As Bob Murphy used to say, he could have hit it in a silo.
Very good. Well,
here's Conforto. He's had some wrist issues. The Mets were facing lefty last night, so he hasn't started the last 3 games. He did have 1 pinch hit at bat Tuesday night. So we'll see whether the few days off can change the program for Conforto, who is 5 for his last 53 at the plate and has seen his average drop to 232.
Now they've pitched him very carefully, a lot of breaking stuff, then going inside to get him when he's behind the count. But the home runs, I just think, got a little intoxicated with the home run, and he's dropping that back shoulder and lost that line drive stroke.
That's hit hard toward the hole, and a great diving stop by Harrison, who throws out Conforto. So Conforto robbed Gong of a hit with a great catch, and now Conforto has robbed himself by Harrison. But Curtis Granderson's record-setting 17th leadoff home run as a Met gives the Mets the early advantage, 1-0 after 1. David Freese leads off the 2nd inning for the Pirates. Freese making his first start in this series. He broke up Noah Syndergaard's shutout last night with a pinch hit double in the ninth, and he takes a strike. It'll be Freese, then Matt Joyce and Jordy Mercer against Bartolo Colon in the 2nd. And Colon right on the corner with a fastball, and it's 1-2.
Almost 70% of the pitches he throws will be strikes. But what he does is that he gives it the appearance that it's off the plate and it comes back over the plate. That's why guys take so many pitches.
Freese getting the start at first base tonight after John Jaso had a 3-hit night last night. One-two coming. Right back to Colon. Reads the signature. Throws out Freese on the way. Greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Bartolo Colon bearing down on the man right in front of him on the strikeout list. That would be Dwight Gooden.
Wow.
He's 8 behind as the night begins for 49th place all time.
48th, the Dominican dandy Juan Marichal. He's 20 wins away from Juan Marichal.
By the way, 45 Hall of Fame, 46 Hall of Fame, 48 Hall of Fame. Rube Waddell in the Hall of Fame?
I think he is, yeah.
That'll be 45 through 48 all in the Hall of Fame. Rube Waddell with the New York Giants back in the early part of the 1900s. Here's Matt Joyce with one out, and that's grounded weakly down to first. Colon will get over to cover, takes the flip from Maloney for the second out. So 2 easy outs for Colon to start the second inning.
Well, he always breaks right off the bat. His fundamentals are perfect.
And I will tell you folks, in Milwaukee, I went down in the gym and worked out, and I just happened to stumble at the same time after the day after Colon started in Milwaukee. He started his workout around 5 minutes after me. I left after around 45 minutes. He was still there, and he's got quite a workout. There's a reason why he's 43 and can pitch. A lot of leg work, Ron. He had his trainer with him. He wasn't even close to being finished when I left, so it was a very rigorous workout. There's a reason why he's successful.
Ball on the strike to Jordy Mercer. When you guys played, you guys ran a lot. Do you think the leg work is different now for pitchers?
Oh yeah, there's a lot more lifting. I mean, honestly, when I first started, you were not, as a pitcher, allowed to lift the weight. It was all band work, and now they really will pump up some iron, especially with their legs. But our thing was, it was a reason why you would run long distance for starting pitchers, because there's a beginning and the middle really hurts, and at the end you feel great, and that's just what 9 innings feels like.
Which is exactly what Noah Syndergaard wanted to feel last night, and that's why he was so frustrated that he couldn't get through that night. But you know what? As we said last night, he'll get another chance.
Yes, he will.
And having been there before will probably work to his advantage. And that leaves Colon still as the last Met to throw a complete game and shut out last September against the Marlins. Mercer taps one back to Colon. 3 chances in the inning for Bartolo, and he handles the ball flawlessly. 1-0 Mets in the second. It's off against Juan Nicasio. Wilmer had a big night last night with 4 runs batted in, including a 2-run homer, his second of the year. And with the news today about David Wright undergoing surgery, Wilmer now has an even more expanded chance to take this third base job and run with it, which he's done quite nicely in the last 2 weeks. By the way, the Mets put out a press release right after we came on the air tonight about David's surgery. They said he underwent successful surgery in Los Angeles. The procedure was a cervical discectomy and fusion. And, and Wilmer is hit on the hand. Oh my!
That got him good. You hope it's the top of the hand, the back of the hand, not the wrist.
Ooh. Bad spot.
That's bad.
Wow.
It's right on that hamate bone area. The reason why it's bad, folks, there's all those little tiny bones in that area. Doesn't take too much for any one of those to be broken.
That's a wrist shot right there. Oh, that's a wrist. It is certainly a wrist. Yeah, that hurts.
Well, just as we're talking about Wilmer getting this big opportunity, now you have to hope that he won't have that short-circuited. He's going to stay in the game for the moment, but we'll see how that goes.
And remember, he lost time with the hamstring also this year. So you got to have some ice on the bench for him in between innings. I know I always say that, but trauma injuries, you got to have ice, ice, ice.
So painful way to get on base. See that outside of the hand swelling up a little bit. They're going to have to look at that after the half inning's over to see whether Wilmer is going to be able to stay in. Meanwhile, he'll run the bases. James Loney at the plate. Loney 2 for 8 in this series. About to say before Wilmer got hit, what they described David Wright's surgery as cervical discectomy. In my layman's knowledge, ectomy means they took the disc out.
Removal, yeah.
And then they fused it.
That's not good. The fusing's not good.
I mean, you had back surgery, so you know a little bit about this.
Neck is a lot more difficult because the lower back, the area to get in to do the surgeries are bigger. The holes are bigger. As you go up the neck, into the neck, they get tight. It's microsurgery. It's a.
This guy knows all about that.
That's right.
Remember, he got hit in the head by a line drive 5 years ago, and they had to do a procedure on his neck, fusing a vertebrae.
Well, the one thing that I understood when I had my back surgery, and I certainly asked a lot of questions, was that if they fuse.
You see the scar on the back of Nicasio's neck where he had that surgery after Ian Desmond hit him with a line drive. 2-1 to Loney. You were saying, Pete?
If you fuse anywhere in the spine's very supple and it moves, and it can, when you fuse, say, the lower or upper, it can upset the continuity of the spine and create problems. Either if it's in the neck, it can go down. If it's the lower back, it can go up. So it's a very delicate thing, obviously.
And nobody's putting any timetable on David's recovery and when he might be able to return to any kind of baseball activities. And I think they're going to have to wait and see. I mean, it could be. I mean, Terry said tonight, we know we're not going to have him for at least 2 months. Well, it could be 2 months. It could be more than that. It could be the rest of the season. I mean, there's just no way to know at this point. Of course, David's also dealing with the added issue of the spinal stenosis that he has to work with for the rest of his life. So, said it in the outset tonight, it's a crossroads for David. Loney's starting his 15th game since the Mets picked him up, and he's done, I think, exactly what the Mets expected him to. He's hit line drives. He's played a nice first base. I haven't heard anything. Have you guys more updated on Lucas Duda? Is he doing anything other than just riding a bike?
Yeah, no, I've heard nothing about Lucas, which is always not good.
I mean, the guy who is most proximate to returning is Travis d'Arnaud, who's going to move to Vegas this weekend and then hopefully return to the Mets Tuesday.
Well, it would be nice if they'd inform us on his progress. I mean, I think the fans out there would like to know.
I think if there was anything to know, you'd probably know. I think that's what Ronnie said.
Yeah.
As for Juan Lagares, he was placed on the disabled list today after having been scratched from the lineup last night with that partially torn ligament in his thumb. So he'll have 15 days on the sidelines. And whether Lagares is going to need surgery on that thumb or not, I think is still an open question. That's recalled Ty Kelly today, so he is with the team with a new number.
Oh, really?
Well, Kelly Johnson took his number 55, so now Ty has 56. Ground ball down to Freese. Gets the out at second. Mercer with a return for the 3-6-3 double play.
Well done by Freese. A third baseman is his natural position. Nice feed. It's close to the bag. Easy to get back. Well done.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now Rene Rivera, who had himself a big game last night. Rivera, who had been really scuffling with the bat, went 3 for 5, had a double, drove in a couple of runs.
9th time in his career that he's had a 3-hit game.
19 Met hits last night. 4 Met players had 3-hit nights. That would be Cespedes. That would be Kelly Johnson. That would be Reynolds and Rivera.
Slash foul by Rivera, 0-2. Well, I did not see Wilmer getting any meaningful treatment there in the dugout, so perhaps he's fine.
Well, if you make a fist, there's a fatty part of your hand right above your wrist that if the ball hits there, you're in better shape, let's say.
Well, there have been numerous questions posed in the last few days about Mets' medium-term plans at third base, and right now the short-term plan is to let Flores roll there and see how it goes. And if Wilmer keeps going the way he's going, that may not change. Rivera takes the call, third strike. Second strikeout for Nicasio. We'll see if Wilmer's okay when the Mets take the field. 1-0 New York. Bartolo Colon gets set to face Eric Kratz, and we go down to Steve Gelb. Steve?
Gary, the 10th overall pick in the NFL draft, Eli Apple of the New York Giants. He got to throw out the first pitch today, and now he's taking in the ball game a little bit. Eli, you know, for you, and you've got fans in front of you right now saying no pressure right now, so welcome to New York, right?
Right. I'm feeling the love.
But when you look at you know, making that transition, making the jump, you just finished minicamp today, college ball to pro ball, what right off the bat is the biggest difference?
You know, just the playbook, the defenses, and I guess the speed of the game is a little faster as well. Everything moves a lot quicker, and the quarterbacks are, you know, a lot more accurate, you know, especially Eli Manning going against them in practice. But I feel like I'm adjusting pretty well.
You also are going against Odell Beckham Jr. in practice. I know you had to take him on one-on-one a couple of times. What can you learn going up against a receiver of his caliber day by day?
You can learn a lot about yourself and just, you know, trying different type of techniques, going against him, you know, building that confidence. Also, he's also somebody that's, you know, really good in his own, you know, just the way he does things, and, you know, so just going against him and, you know, getting the best out of him, also getting the best out of yourself, that only can help you.
In the limited time already, what do you look at and say, okay, I need to improve this technique-wise?
Of course, you want to, you know, watch the holding and, you know, pass interference calls. But with me, I just want to make sure my footwork is on, you know, up to par, and just make sure that I'm just getting faster, getting better overall in everything that I do.
Eli, the Giants defense last year was a big issue, but they spent a lot of money this offseason to upgrade that, brought you in with the 10th overall pick. Is there a big energy in this defensive unit about what you guys could potentially be this season?
Yeah, we expect big things out of us. We have a lot of great guys on the defense, and we feel like we could be one of the best defenses, or we could be as good as we want to be. It's just about going out, executing every day, and be consistent.
Eli, I think the biggest question for you heading into this year, though, you know, you're a pretty big deal right now, 10th overall pick, but your mom made some pretty big headway on draft night as well. She got hired as an analyst on Sunday NFL Countdown, or a guest Sunday NFL Countdown. Who's going to be the bigger star this year, you or your mother?
I know she's always going to shine no matter what, but you know, with me, I'm just trying to do my best with the Giants and be a contributor from day one and lead the team to Super Bowl.
Right answer. Eli Apple, congratulations on the draft status here, and thanks so much for joining us here tonight.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Gary, back to you.
He's got the perfect name to be a star in this town, doesn't he?
Go fool him. Like our Gary Apple back in the studio.
Well, he's got the combination of Apple and Eli.
I can like Eli.
1-2 to Nicasio. Well, two things while Steve was talking to Eli. First of all, Colon comes inside with the first pitch to Kratz after Flores got hit.
Love seeing that. Love it.
And then Flores handling the ground ball seemingly with no problem with that glove hand that got hit by the pitch. 1-2 to Nicasio, and he goes down on strikes. Or did he make a contact? He made contact, so it's a foul ball. Nicasio, lifetime 127 hitter. A long way from the plate. There, sets up outside, and Colon hits the target for his first strikeout of the night. 2 out and nobody on.
Well, here's the 5-3 in your scorecard. The grounder off the bat of Kratz, and he got crossed over with his hands there. That is not what you want to do. I don't know how you can do that.
What do you mean by crossed over with his
hand? See, his throwing hand came over the glove.
Right.
You come on top of your when you field the ball with 2 hands, your throwing hand comes over and smothers the ball in your glove.
Josh Harrison led off the game with an infield hit. Last night, John Jaso led off the game with a hit against Syndergaard, who then proceeded to retire the next 17 batters. Well, Harrison a leadoff hit tonight, and Colon's retired the next 8. Granderson punches one out to right, and Granderson drifts over. That retires the side. 9 in a row set down by Colon. Granderson's home run has the Mets in front. He'll be up next. Plate for his first at bat of the night. Bart is in the record books now. It's a record that he could lose, but he's got it. He now has more at bats in his career without a walk than any batter in Major League history who never walked.
1-0.
He beat Tracy Stallard's mark, but of course if he draws a walk, the record goes away. 1-1.
Was Tracy Stallard an original Met? No.
No.
He pitched for the Giants when I was a kid growing up. I remember that right early. Oh, Bart.
Colon's got a base hit, and this one's going to go all the way back to the wall. And Colon cruises into second base with a leadoff double. Nobody gets more love as a hitter than Bart.
Right down the pipe. Look at him stay level. His heart wasn't in it. Little bail. And he had no intention out of the box of getting a triple.
Now that would be something.
Look at the bullpen was jumping up and down. That was hilarious.
He just wanted to make sure he hit first base.
The bail and whale technique can work, Keith.
It can, yes.
Well, that's his third career double. He also has a home run this year. And now Granderson takes a strike. So he had 2 extra base hits in his career coming into this season, and he's doubled that total before half this season is gone.
And there's the big power shift on Granderson.
Granderson rocketed a home run his first time up, his 13th of the year. Last year, Curtis hit 7 leadoff home runs, which was a new single season Mets record. He's got 6 this year. And now 17 as a Met, which broke Jose Reyes' old mark. Granderson now with 41 leadoff home runs in his career. Remember, he hasn't been a leadoff hitter his whole career.
Hanging breaking ball missed by Granderson. With the shift they have on now, giving Bart third base.
I don't think he's taking it. Just saying. So even though Granderson has not spent his whole career as a leadoff hitter, he's now 6th on the all-time list of leadoff home runs. Rickey Henderson has the record with 81. A Alfonso Soriano, Craig Biggio, Jimmy Rollins, Brady Anderson, and then Curtis.
Wow.
With 41.
Impressive.
Two to Granderson. It's this one out to center, shallow. McCutchen coming on, and it falls in. Colon's going to break for third. Here comes McCutchen's throw, and Colon is safe. No slide needed. A bloop single by Granderson and some friskiness from Colon.
Well, Colon does some nice bit of base running there. Got off the bag appropriately, and he just felt with his blazing speed he didn't have to slide.
He's got to slide there, but that was almost the first time with the guy in second and no outs that a single was not a productive out. Almost the first time.
Well, Granderson starting to find the range. 2 for 2 tonight. But with hard hit balls and fortunate hits, they're all falling for Curtis right now.
Productive hit and then not out.
There's Cabrera, who struck out his first time up. Fastball from Nicasio, 0-1.
Cabrera down into the 260s now, 264 on the year. He is in a little bit of a slump. We have not seen him swing and miss. His first at bat he struck out. He had 3 pitches where he didn't make contact. And here's a 4th, so he's in a bit of a slump, a little bit of a struggle for him right now.
2 for 10 in this series. So here's my question. How deep a fly ball does he need to hit to get Colon home?
Home run.
If he hits it to the warning track, that's not good enough.
I'm looking around. McCutchen, Polanco, Joyce, yeah.
Curtis can at first base could tag up and try to draw a relay, try to draw the cutoff throw.
Not with Cespedes on deck. Let him do it. 0-2 to Cabrera. And time is.
Nicasio takes a lot of time to get the ball, throw the ball.
I love when fans scream for a ball.
So who's calling me? Yeah, hi.
They love just screaming at you.
What does he want?
I don't know.
I remember the time in Houston. Remember in Houston, the seats are right in front of the booth. And in the middle of an inning, guy turned around, held up a card, and said, "Keith, can you sign it?"
You're blocking my view
while the game's going on.
Oh, I got hot too. It's a very unusual number for a pitcher out there, Ron. Number 12.
It is. What's he thinking?
I thought 12 was a great number for you.
There we are. See, our folks are so well behaved.
Oh. Strike 3 call. Cabrera thought it was down. Trip Gibson punches him out. 3rd strikeout for Nicasio, the first out of the inning.
That's too close to take. That's a strike. Ronnie, you'd want that one, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would.
So Cespedes will try and get Colon in.
So whenever I see the number 12, I always think of Giant third baseman Jim Davenport when I was a kid growing up. Jimmy Davenport anchored that third base for the Giants back in the early 60s.
Think of Ken Boswell, second baseman for the '69 Mets.
Jim Davenport was a Gold Glover at third base.
Cespedes walked on 4 pitches his first time up. By the way, if you're wondering, Colon has scored 1 run this year when he drove himself in San Diego. He has 7 runs scored in his career. And Cespedes takes a fastball strike.
Another one of those situations we were talking about last night. You try to identify to not have Cespedes hurt you in the lineup, but if you get runners on, you've got to pitch to him.
Last night, Cespedes hit in front of Flores and Johnson. Tonight in front of Walker and Conforto. It's a little bit different. Slider off the plate, 1-1.
It looks to me that Nicasio, who came out throwing hard, has just lost maybe a tad on his fastball.
Walker on deck.
This is like the show should be on Nickelodeon
or the Auto Racing Network. It's like our second big car sound of the night.
That Jeeps.
1-1 to Cespedes, and he takes it high.
All right, you're wasting gas, guys. Turn it off.
Is it still idling?
Sounds like it.
I think that's the crowd kid.
Ron?
Sounds like the car to me.
I'm losing my mind. See, that's what happens when they give me too many off days early.
You'll catch up. Cespedes lifts it to right center. Deep, but playable. Polanco in front of the warning track. Colon is tagging, and he's coming on in, and they'll let him go. Second run scored of the year for Colon. Cespedes got it deep enough, and the Mets have a 2-0 lead. Time for Mart to towel off.
Help yourself. That's what I like about the National League. The pitcher is the wild card in the deck.
You know, we have so much fun with Bart's at bats. I think sometimes we forget to give him the credit he deserves for taking himself at age 40 plus from an automatic out to what he's now become.
Yes. I mean, when he first came to the ball club, there'd be at bats that he just wouldn't swing. He didn't want to really be up there.
And he couldn't bunt either. He can bunt now too.
Most of his years were in the American League, but you know what? He's a proud guy, sneaky athletic, and he's turned it into a guy who'll get his hits.
Or even his extra base hit.
There you go.
You know, Walker fouled out to the catcher his first time out.
I know Curtis doesn't steal very many bases. He got his first stolen base in Milwaukee, though, a last road trip. It's a good time to try to sneak one. Left-hand hitter up.
In the air, deep right field. Polanco goes back near the wall. It's out of here. Neil Walker back in the lineup. And he cranks a 2-run homer. His 14th home run of the year. And the Mets now have a 4-0 lead.
Welcome back. And I guess that week back, what you got around a week back, is okay.
Walker had a rough go of it against his old team in Pittsburgh, but in his first game in this series against the Pirates, he takes one deep. And Conforto follows with a long fly ball to right center. McCutchen back to the warning track at the wall. It's out of here. Michael Conforto goes back to back behind Walker. Number 10 for Conforto.
He's stoked.
Well, they both missed a few days because of injury. Walker and Conforto back in the lineup tonight. And they stitched together a couple of long balls.
Both the same pitch, hanging sliders right in the middle of the dish. Remember, Conforto in his first at bat blistered a ball that Harrison made a great play on.
8th time this year the Mets have hit back-to-back home runs.
There's the pitch right here, outside. Oh, and kind of tailed back over the outer half. Belt high, up in the strike zone. I tell you what, the ball is being, their balls are hit, but it's carrying tonight. Wants it down and in. Oh, hanging slide ball. Oh, here.
Well, that's great news for the Mets. Walker and Conforto going back-to-back. Now the bad news. Wilmer Flores is coming out of this game after he was hit by a pitch in the last inning. Kelly Johnson is going to bat for Flores. So Wilmer stayed in the game, made a play at third base after getting hit, but now comes out. And we'll get word as soon as we can. So Johnson, who had a big night as a last-minute replacement for Lagares last night, now pinch hitting for Flores. Kelly went 3 for 5 last night, including a 437-foot home run. After a high hard 1-2-2.
Even more importantly, guys, Gary, you were mentioning before, another crooked number.
4 runs home in this third inning against Nicasio, who held the Mets in check last week in Pittsburgh.
You know, when you're pitching against a club, you know, you are going to make mistakes, and within an at-bat, a hitter's going to get a pitch to hit. But Nicasio in this game, it's been 1, 2, sometimes 3 pitches per at-bat that the hitters have had a chance to put in play. That's when you really put yourself in trouble.
Pirates are what we've seen. Now this is the 6th game. They're in trouble. They're 11.5 back coming into the night.
They're very short of pitching. And
yes, they are
in this series. Right behind the mound, Mercer makes the catch, and that retires the side. But the Mets, with Colon providing the spark, score 4 in the third and lead 5-0. MLB.com at Bat app, which includes game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet.
What's that?
Fresh off his dash around the bases, Bartolo Colon goes back to the mound for the 4th.
What was that song? All I want for Christmas is my 2 front teeth. In this case, 1. Cute girls.
Blanco takes a strike. There's Kelly Johnson, who pinch hit for Wilmer Flores. He stays in the game at 3rd. Well, we'll find out hopefully shortly whether there's anything broken in that hand once Wilmer Flores gets x-rays. And you hate to jump too far ahead, but there's certainly been plenty of conversation about the possibility of the Mets bringing up Dilson Herrera to play 2nd and moving Neil Walker to 3rd. And Walker was asked again tonight whether he'd be okay with that as Polanco strikes out, and he said yet again that he'd be fine with that. And it'd probably take a little while to get him up to speed. He played 3rd base in the minor leagues, but just gives you an idea what Neil Walker's all about.
Well, no, he's a pro, so he's going to do whatever's best for the team. But more importantly, he's coming off a bad back, so you want to move him to a new position. And one of the strengths of the team all season long has been your defense up the middle. So I think it's admirable that he wants to move, but I don't know if the time is right now if that's the case.
Yeah, I don't know if wants to is the right word, but willing to.
Willing to. Yeah, sorry.
And I think it's kind of important to note, you look at the 2 keystone infielders right there, middle infielders. Cabrera on the left, obviously. Walker on the right.
That's driven to left by McCutchen. Back goes Conforto near the wall, and it's off the fence. McCutchen racing for 2nd, and he'll make it safely. So there's the 2nd hit of the night off Colon, and McCutchen's first hit in this series, snapping a career worst 0 for 18 stretch.
Well, that is the first ball he's hit hard in this series. And can't believe he thought it was a home run. But he can put the afterburners in there. Kelly Johnson, I was just going to make the point, Gary, has been a terrific pickup by Sandy Alderson. He's versatile on the infield. The Mets needed help with David on the DL. And now you don't know with Flores, but he's a left-hand hitter. He's been a good addition to the bench. And he can play, well, not shortstop. He can play 2nd and 3rd base.
Well, we just got good news on Wilmer Flores. It's hit down to 1st base, and Loney will take it himself to retire Gong for the 2nd out as McCutchen goes to 3rd. The word on Flores, he had x-rays and they're negative.
Well,
so it's a left-hand contusion. So that's certainly good news that they did not find any broken bones.
Great. Back in the 70s, now all the ballparks today have x-ray machines, and they should. And when I came up in the 70s, St. Louis at Busch Stadium was one of the few ballparks that had an x-ray machine.
Shea didn't, even in the 80s.
There's David Freese. I think Shea got one at one point, maybe in the 90s. Yeah. But up until that point, they had to run you to the hospital.
Run you to the hospital, correct.
Freese had a comebacker his first time up. McCutchen at 3rd with 2 out. 5-0 New York in the 4th. Colon misses away 1-1, but 92 miles an hour from Bart, energized by his double and his run scored.
This keeps that point off the board on 3rd base.
Joyce would be next.
One thing Pittsburgh can do, they can rake, so got to still be on point here.
Well, the Mets are catching the Pirates in a little down cycle right here. The Pirates over this month of June are averaging under 3.5 runs per game, which is down more than a full run from their season average. And they're in the midst of some horrific scheduling too, which is certainly not helping. Last week, remember, the Mets were in Pittsburgh, played a night game Wednesday. The Pirates then went to Colorado to play a makeup game on Thursday afternoon, and then came back home to play Friday night. Well, tonight they're playing a night game in New York. Tomorrow afternoon they have a day game in Chicago, which is just crazy. twice in a week. They go from a night game in one city to a day game in another city. Something's got to be done about that.
So true.
Off the corner to Freeze, 3-2. I mean, I know fans don't want to hear it, but these guys are not machines. They're human beings who need rest.
It's not even that. I mean, you want to see the best product on the field. When you can see the best product on the field when a team like the Pirates tonight is going to get into Chicago at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning,
and then play at 1:20 tomorrow afternoon Central Time. 3-2 coming to Freeze, and he shoots one down to first, and Loney's got it to end the inning. Second time an inning has ended for Colon with a line drive out. Loney right there to grab it to keep the Pirates off the board. Citi is a proud partner of the New York Mets. To learn more about Citi initiatives, let's join Gary Apple in our New York studio. During the fifth inning of tonight's game for details on how to enter the SNY fifth inning sweepstakes presented by Tri-State Ford. James Loney leads off the home fourth and pops one up into shallow left center. Out goes Mercer, and he makes the grab. One pitch and one out for Nicasio in the bottom of the fourth. Now Rene Rivera, who struck out looking his first time up.
Well, those 3 home runs by the Mets give them 88 on the year, and that puts them in a tie right now with Washington at 88. And Washington, of course, will play later tonight, as Gary mentioned, in San Diego.
Which I didn't mention. I did say it to Ronnie off the air, though.
Oh, you know, I got confused in commercial.
You know, there are the things we say when the microphones are on, and then there are the things we say when the commercial break is on.
Yes.
It's important to remember the difference. Yes, the Nationals are in San Diego tonight.
If we ever get, Keith, to the point where we're saying on air what we say in between the innings, we're going to be in big trouble.
See, but here's the thing. If they could just do a show about what happens between innings, you guys would be bigger than the Kardashians. It would be reality television at its greatest.
Well, I don't know if the world's ready for it.
It would be. It could get ugly fast. But it's funny, the things that happen in the booth in between food and chatter and whatever. It's hey, listen, it's 162 games. You try to have fun up here too.
Let's just say that if they did do that show, it would have to be late night cable.
Yeah.
It would definitely have to be cable. No question.
Late night.
Yes. Very late. After Colbert.
Maybe public access, Jack.
That's right.
3-2 to Rivera, with Colon anticipating his next offensive stylings on deck. Here's a good one from folks at ESPN. Colon is not the first pitcher in Major League history to have a home run and a double at age 43. It's actually been done 3 times before. Dazzy Vance in 1934, Warren Spahn in 1964, Phil Niekro in 1982. All 3 of them are in the Hall of Fame. And that's outside, ball 4, and Rivera's on with a walk, so Colon will bat with a man on. Well, here's Bartolo's 3rd inning.
Nicely done. Not a lot of hip rotation on that swing, but he got it done. And
this is my favorite part.
Look at that. I knew he had it. And then
trucking home on Cespedes' sac fly.
Look at that.
Well, we see what he has left in the tank. Maybe he has to bunt here. The thing about Bart bunting, he's not very good at that.
It's not, his heart's not in it.
But he got better. He's better.
I think he has a little fear of Nicasio, who just hit Flores in this game, coming up and in, not even wanting to. His control can sometimes be a little iffy.
Well, Gong in close at 3rd. And Colon tries the Butcher Boy. And that gets a rise out of the crowd. Lying in the weeds.
Well, one thing about Bartolo's swing. Watch, he stays level. He's got a chance. He doesn't swing up. That is not a bad swing.
Boy, if you're Gong, you have to feel like you were taking your life into your hands there. He was about 40 feet away when Bart swung that bat. And he bunts the 3rd strike. And so that's the 2nd out of the inning. 4th strikeout for Nicasio. Well, that wasn't nearly as entertaining as his last at bat, but the Butcher Boy, I like that.
Well, we've seen a couple of Mets. Steve Matz has done it this year. It's a good play.
Well, there's Terry giving a little teasing. When you're 5-0, it's a good call, the Butcher Boy.
Terry's like, you know, you hit a double, you're going good, but not that good, son.
Here's Granderson, who's 2 for 2 already tonight. A leadoff home run in the 1st, and then a bloop single in the 3rd. That advanced Colon from 2nd to 3rd. So over the last 7 games now, Curtis 12 for 28. So it's really the first period of more than 2 or 3 games all year where Curtis has been able to put together some kind of offensive flow. Yeah, maybe this is the streak that gets him going. I mean, I don't know how you saw it when you fought out of a slump, Keith, but last 2 nights Curtis has had a couple of bloop singles. He's also hit some balls hard, and I guess you need both. To get in the hot streak.
He's kind of a funny hitter to get a temperature on, Garrett. He can look really bad and then just look terrific. And I think the most important thing for any hitter is you'll take your bloopers whenever you get them, Gary. But if you don't swing good, Curtis knows it, and you got lucky. Oh, you say, okay, I'll take it. But once you start hitting the ball hard, that's what gets you out of the slump. That's when you know you're on the road to recovery.
2-2 from Nicasio, and that pops out of the mid of Kratz, who's had a rough night tonight. 3-2.
To me, when I watch Curtis from the pitching point of view, is when he has strike zone discipline, is not chasing balls out of the strike zone, taking his walks. That is when he starts to get on a roll. He can get so swing happy at times, and the strikeouts pile up.
Rivera gets set to run with Freese playing behind him. And Granderson fouls it off. Ocasio at 77 pitches in the 4th inning. He's due a 4th when the Pirates come up next half inning. And Granderson gets tied up, and he went around strike 3. Ben May punches him out down at third base, and the inning is over. 5 strikeouts for Nicasio. Colon heads back to the mound for his primary occupation when we come back. Drive a new Ford, you'll discover why Ford is the total package. 5th inning, Matt Joyce leads off against Bartolo Colon, who has thrown 4 scoreless innings, given up just 2 hits. On the heels of Noah Syndergaard taking a shutout into the 9th inning last night. Mets open a series with the Braves tomorrow night, with the resurgent Matt Harvey opening the series. And interestingly, the Mets will be going up against a former Met farmhand tomorrow night in John Gant. There's A.J. Schugel up in the Pirate bullpen. Gant is one of the players the Mets sent to the Braves when they acquired Juan Uribe and Kelly Johnson last year. And he'll be making his 2nd big league start. And one of Joyce. The Braves just won their 2nd game in a row today, with Freddie Freeman all of a sudden on fire. Hit for the cycle last night and had 3 more hits, including a home run today in their win over the Reds. We were just talking about it last night. You know, who's the Braves all-star going to be? And maybe Freddie the last couple of days is showing signs that maybe he's that guy.
Well, he hasn't had an all-star season, but he's an all-star kind of player.
And you have to take somebody.
Yes.
I mean, Julio Teheran has an ERA under 3, but he's 2-7. So
he's been their all-star, though.
I guess he'll pitch Sunday against DeGrom in the finale of that series. Aaron Blair, who made his debut against the Mets earlier this year, faces Steven Matz Saturday night.
What do you think your record's going to be with that team? I don't care what your ERA is.
Correct.
That's fair. Joyce strikes out on the fastball inside. 3rd strikeout for Colon.
Just has the ability to control the movement of the fastball. Throws it right in on their belt buckle and just brings it right across the inside part of the plate.
There's Jordy Mercer with 1 out. Well, the Mets have 7 games with the Braves the next 2 weekends. They play 3 here And then after they play the 2 with Kansas City, they go to Atlanta to play 4 the following weekend. So that gives the Mets a nice chance to try and fatten up before they have the hell week, which is Washington, the Cubs, and then after a respite, another series with the Cubs. That's it the other way, a base hit from Mercer, and he'll try for second and then think better of it as Granderson gets it in quickly. Down by 5 runs, Mercer taking no chances.
Well, good play by Granderson with the hustle to get over there. And equally, like Gary said, the play by Mercer is that you push it as far as you can go to try to get 2 bags, but you're down 5 runs. So you got to shut it down.
So 1 out and 1 on. Now Eric Kratz, who grounded out to third base his first time up. I think the schedule is also interesting from the standpoint of the Mets trying to figure out their third base situation. It buys them a little time with these 7 games coming up against Atlanta to try and figure some stuff out before they get to that more difficult part of their schedule. Because once they dive in against the Nationals and the Cubs, it's on.
Yeah, it buys them a little time if Wilmer can come off this contusion and play. You know, what we've seen, one of the themes of this club is that guys have had enough aches and pains that have kept them out of the lineup for 2, 3, 4 days, and the team has played shorthanded. That makes it difficult.
Well, if you're Washington right now at present, the Mets are 5 back and still a ways to go till they'll meet in Washington. But if you're Washington, you've got to be thinking, I got them at home. We got a chance to really bury them. That would be their focus.
Slowly hit. Cabrera gets the out at second. Walker the turn in time for the double play. With the slow-footed Kratz running, Mets had time to turn 2. 6-4-3 to get Cologne through the inning. Halfway through at Citi Field, 5-0 New York. Cologne has done the rest, including his double and runs scored, not pictured. I don't know why it wasn't the biggest headline.
I mean, no knock on Walker and Conforto with the back-to-back home runs.
We'll see. We'll see it in the box score there. Got that later.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
As Dribble Cabrera trying to get in on the fun. He's 0 for 2 tonight. And a couple of strikeouts against Nicasio, who remains out there. And that's hammered to right field. Back goes Polanco near the wall, and it's at the base of the fence. Cabrera heads to second, and he has to do the hook slide. Comes off the bag, but manages to find his way back on. He misjudged the arm of Gregory Polanco, who's got a real hose in right field, and Cabrera lucky to get to second base safely.
Well, they're teeing off on Nicasio now. 2 nights in a row the Mets bats are alive. I don't think Mercer had to go get that ball. If he had stayed on second base and took the long hop, Cabrera's out with sliding by the bag.
Just got that left finger back on. Hunter Wendelstedt right on top of the play to call it correctly. One little finger. He might have hurt his wrist in the process, manipulating it there. Here's Cespedes, who's walked and hit a sacrifice fly. And he shoots that foul into the seats behind the first base dugout. And that went in the stands in a hurry, and Cespedes a little concerned. We've talked about it several times this year. Major League Baseball suggested that teams extend the screens to the ends of the dugouts. And certain teams have done that, some have not. And here at Citi Field, there is no screen behind the dugout. But everybody appears to be okay. On 1 to Cespedes with Walker on deck. And Nicasio misses badly. 1-1.
Clint Hurdles, just there's where the ball landed in there.
And it's nice to see everybody's all right.
You got him on the bicep.
It's a good thing he works out.
Well, just thank God it wasn't over to the right with a
little boy.
He was holding the little boy.
Yep.
Broken bat, flare on the right side. Runner will advance. Harrison throws out Cespedes as Cabrera goes to third.
But I guess you'd call that, you don't want it from your number 3 hitter, which really Cespedes is a cleanup hitter. It's a productive out. He advances the runner. But Cespedes is not happy. I'm paid to drive him in. Good fastball inside, tied him up. Good swing.
He wasn't trying to hit that ball to the right side.
No, he was not. It was called buzzsaw.
But he gets Cabrera to third with 1 away, and the infield will come in with Neil Walker at the plate. Walker, first game back in the lineup after missing 3 with lower back issues. Loved a 2-run homer his last time up.
Got to feel good about hitting a home run off his former team.
Walker on the best home run pace of his major league career.
Boy, got another pitch to hit.
Well, Nicasio throws hard, but he's straight as a string, and I should have counted all the pitches down Broadway.
Walker hit a career high 23 home runs 2 years ago. There's A.J. Schugel up again in the bullpen. 23 home runs 2 years ago, 16 last year, and he's already got 14 this year. Well shy of halfway through. That's the good news. The bad news is he's had a big problem getting a runner in from third with less than 2 out. Only 2 of 9 this year. So while he has 14 home runs, he's driven in only 27 runs. Whereas Granderson has similar numbers. He's 13 and 21.
Well, that's really the Mets team, right? Plenty of home runs. Not as many runs as you would think.
Mets have hit 3 home runs tonight, giving them 88 for the year. They started the night 3rd in the league in homers, but 13th in runs scored. Last night was a whole different circumstance. They strung hits together, got a lot of base hits to drive in runs. Two to Walker. Oh, the 3 tonight. The Mets tie the Nats for first in the league. Washington plays later on in San Diego, which we did mention. This time. Oh, he's not paying attention.
He's got something else going on.
Walker hits this one out to left. That'll get a run in at least. Joyce going back near the wall, and it's off the base of the fence. Cabrera is in. Walker cruises into second with an RBI double. Neil Walker with his 3rd RBI of the night. Didn't miss another home run by much. And the Mets now lead at 6-0.
Well, Marte not in the lineup, and the defense, the ball found the 4 out there in Stratomatic 4. That's a fly ball. That ball's got to be caught. Played way too shallow. And that's going to be it for Nicasio.
So Nicasio, who held the Mets in check for 5 innings in Pittsburgh last week, lasts just 4 1/3 tonight, and he's already been tagged for 6 runs. Glenn Hurdle will make a double switch. Sean Rodriguez is coming into the game, and so will right-hander A.J. Schugel. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon. Geico, the #1 insurer in the New York market. By the Better Network, Verizon, better matters. And by New York Lottery, take a break from the expected. Play scratch-off games from the New York Lottery. Sean Rodriguez will come into play shortstop. He'll bat 9th in the double switch. And A.J. Schugel will come in to pitch for the Pirates.
Well, Schugel's really been their long man all season long. 7 times he's pitched 2 innings or more in a game. In fact, the last time that Garrett Cole got taken out of a game and then put on the DL recently, he pitched a season high 4 innings. So he'll be asked to do that here.
Hey kids, you can win a chance to join us in the booth and call the Mets game on SNY. Just go to sny.tv/KidCaster, where you can video audition online for a chance to win the SNY KidCaster contest presented by New York's 529 College Savings Program. Michael Conforto homered his last time up, his 10th of the year. Snapping an 0 for 13 stretch. He's hit the ball hard twice tonight. And takes outside from Schugel, 1-0. First time up, Conforto scorched one to the right side, and Harrison robbed him of a hit.
Beautiful sunset there.
Red sky at night, Seller's delight. 2-0 to Conforto. Kelly Johnson on deck, took over for Wilmer Flores, who got hit in the hand. X-rays negative, suffered a contusion, but came out of the game. Walker at second and 1 out, a run home here in the 5th. And Schugel with an knee-high fastball for a strike, 2-1. A.J. Schugel made his big league debut with the Diamondbacks last year. He was shuffled to Seattle, and then the Pirates got him on waivers from the Mariners. Now in his 19th game of the season. Change up. This is 3-1. Rough going for the Pirates these days. 13 losses in their last 18 games. Day game tomorrow at Wrigley Field. Hang with them.
That's hit sharply and past Harrison for a base hit. Stopping at third is Walker. Conforto has his second hit of the night, and he has hit the ball solidly all 3 times up. It's a great sign.
Good sign here. Looks like that. Oh, right down Broadway. Still got to hit it. Beautiful swing that we love. Me in particular. I guess the cortisone shot was a success.
Or maybe just the 4 days off.
I think if his wrist was bothering him, and he said in the paper today that yesterday that his wrist feels fine. I think the cortisone shot, it's a miracle when you want to get a player to play.
Here's Johnson, who popped to short in his first at bat after taking over from Flores. And he pops this one up shallow left. Joyce coming in. And he'll get there. Walker's not going anywhere, and that's the second out.
Well, that'll drive a hitter crazy when you have an RBI out there and you don't get it in.
So first and third and 2 out. Now James Loney is grounded into a double play and popped up 0 for 2. Walker at third, Conforto at first, and Loney takes outside, ball 1. Change up for a strike. Well, Walker and Conforto returning to the lineup tonight has certainly provided the Mets with a huge shot in the arm. And you can talk about last night, and the Mets had a great night with the bats, but it looks a whole lot different when those 2 guys are in the middle of the lineup and swinging the way they are tonight.
Schugel reminds me of Seth Maness, who was with the Cardinals the last few seasons. I thought he was sent down this year, though. Fastball, sinking action with the changeup.
Terry Collins has got to breathe a sigh of relief. Remember, it was very patchwork lineups that we've seen for around a week. Got some both people back.
Now back to Schugel, who surrounds it and makes the play to end the inning. But the Mets tack on a run on Walker's RBI double. After 5, Mets 6, Pirates nothing. Not be more of a contrast between Bartolo Colon's efficient effort and his hitting, contrasted with Juan Nicasio and his rough outing tonight. 5 scoreless for Bart. Started the night with a 3.08 ERA. Might get that under 3 by the end of the night. Sean Rodriguez up for the first time, came in the double switch in the last half inning. He's 0 for 3 in this series. Seems like he plays every day somewhere. Starting, coming off the bench, first base, shortstop, left field.
Yeah, he's like their someone gets hurt or double switch or defensive replacement.
He would be in basketball like your John Havlicek, your 6th man.
Are you comparing this guy to John Havlicek? You want to fight?
Hondo.
Huh?
Hondo.
Ronnie, a big Celtics fan as a kid. Do you retain that affection, or is that was that just a remnant of your childhood?
No, just childhood stuff.
Ohio State, John Havlicek, correct?
That's right.
Jerry Lucas.
Eli Apple.
There you go. We brought it full circle.
Jerry Lucas with the hook shot.
And the push shot. That long jump shot he'd shoot from his.
Didn't he have a bizarre? Didn't he have an underhand free throw shot? Or no, my mistake.
Rick Barry.
I know, but there was. I thought he had a peculiar free throw shot. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, he shot putted the ball, and they didn't have the 3-pointer when he played, but he was a long range shooter for a big guy.
He was a good player. That's what he was.
Part of the Knicks championship team in '73. Rodriguez strikes out. 4th strikeout for Colon, and that's the first out of the inning.
You were probably thinking, because we were talking about Havlicek, as you see this fastball come back over the outside corner, Donnie Nelson had the funny free throw.
Yes.
Remember, he used to hold it with one hand. See that grip, the 2-seamer. He's got great control of it tonight. And I was trying to explain it before. Most pitchers that have movement try to use movement to have contact. What Bartolo does is that he controls with finger pressure the movement of the fastball, so makes it hard to hit.
Anderson sliding to take a base hit away from Harrison. They're 2 men down. He's played some nice defense behind Colon tonight. Conforto had the best grab of the night. This is a nice play by Granderson.
I don't know how uplifting that is for a pitcher. You know, you give up a line drive, you off the bat, you think it's automatically a knock, and the next thing you know, it's the second out of the inning.
So now Gregory Polanco has hit a slow ground ball to second and struck out in his 2 at-bats. This will be the last regular season game between the Mets and Pirates this year. Who knows whether they might face each other in October, but you know, the Mets have issues to deal with on their offense, and the Pirates have issues to deal with on the mound.
It's a shame that these teams, you can't split it up more. So, you know, over the course of the season, you're going to go through your, you know, your hills and your valleys. And if it was split up more, you'd get a better representation usually of what that team is, as opposed to right now where Pittsburgh is struggling.
So you play all the games within a 2-week span. Colon finds the inside corner, strikes out Polanco, and it's an easy 1-2-3-6 for Bart. 6 scoreless for Colon. 6-0 New York. Rene Rivera leads off the home 6th inning for New York against A.J. Schugel, who got the final 2 outs in the 5th. Rivera has struck out and walked tonight. Bartolo Colon ready for his 3rd offensive performance of the night on deck. And it's hit sharply by Rivera, and it eats up Rodriguez, and Rivera is aboard.
Well, really, Rodriguez is not a shortstop. So a lot of weakness here is glaring of this Pirate team. Didn't get in front. You have to give him rate him a 4 at shortstop.
Mr. Carpin on the call.
They're giving Rivera credit for a base hit.
Very nice.
Mr. Carpin. Very generous. Santa Claus.
Well, it is his 1000th game week.
I think this is 1002 tonight. Colon struck out trying to bunt his last time up after his 2-base hit and runs scored in the 3rd. Taking all the way that first pitch, and takes a long look down at Tim Tuffle to see if he's asked to bunt now. Almost loses the helmet. Manages to retain it. And it's 0-2.
Looking for the express, got the local.
Trying to go deep.
They're changing speeds to Bart now.
Bart's getting a little frisky.
And Schugel gets him on 3 pitches for the first out. And Bart gets a hand nonetheless. It's a hand no matter what he does. Have you noticed that?
Yes. He's the everyman, right?
Now Granderson, who's 2 for 3 tonight, a home run and a bloop single. Is there anybody hotter right now than Edwin Encarnacion?
Oh man.
Another home run and 4 RBIs tonight in Philadelphia for the Jays. 61 RBIs now?
Yeah, I remember a couple of seasons ago he had 16 home runs in May. He can go on tears.
I mean, he's got 18 homers and 61 RBIs. He's on a pace for what, 45 and 130?
Well, you and I were talking the other day. He's one of the quietest, great offensive players in the American League.
1-1 to Granderson.
That AL East is a little tight, three horse race.
Red Sox moved into a first place tie with the Orioles last night behind Stephen Wright.
Tampa Bay, I don't think, has the firepower. They're hanging around. The Yankees are a little bit of trouble.
Well, the Yankees, after getting swept at pair in Colorado, are in Minnesota for 4 games, and you know that might get them headed back on the right track. But there's that AL East.
Stephen Wright trying to live forever. So far, so good.
Still parking in driveway. Driving on Parkway. In the air, right field. Polanco back. They'll have room on this one. And he makes the catch. See Hansel Robles jumping for that ball in the bullpen? That's the second out. Let's check in with the studio. Kareth Burke has a game break brought to you by your local Honda dealer. Colby Lewis settled for a 2-hitter. Texas rolling. They've got a 6.5 game lead in that AL West.
Best record in the American League.
Here's Cabrera, who doubled and scored his last time up in the 5th. Check out Hansel Robles trying to make a play on this ball.
Oh, he's feeling pretty good.
Well, they call Polanco El Cafe, and maybe Robles has had too much cafe.
Maybe. He needed arms like Gumby. Or at least Pokey. That was his sidekick. Yeah. Did you watch Gumby on Sunday mornings?
You guys, were you guys latchkey kids? I mean, were you guys in front of the TV all day long, or what?
It was a weekend thing.
Oh.
Usually Gumby was brought to you by Slinky.
We walked the stairs without a care. I love Slinky.
I did
but
too.
They always get kinked up when you use them.
Yeah, they were great going up and down. Oh, going not up, going downstairs.
Up is tough. Good change up by shooting to it there.
How about when the yo-yos were popular? Did you used to be able to do the cradle?
Walk the dog?
Walk the dog.
Walk the dog was easy. Around the world was easy, but do the cradle. Remember, you did the pyramid and have the yo-yo do the cradle.
Way too advanced.
Oh,
Rock the baby.
That's it. That was a difficult one. It took me a long time. I perfected it.
You're kind of taking all that talent from the yo-yo when you unravel your headset during the broadcast.
That's right. You used to wrap your yo-yo too tight. Oh, that was trouble.
You have to have it not too tight, but not too loose.
Exactly.
That kicks away, and down to second base goes Rivera. Wild pitch moves him along.
Change with this hits right off his right knee of his shin guard. In hockey, he didn't control the rebound.
Yeah, but in hockey, you've got those big, soft
That's right.
pads on your legs. Not that hard plastic. They're at second with 2 out.
Pittsburgh's on Mile High right now, right? The cup is being brought to Primante's everywhere you could think.
I understand, and I might be speaking out of turn here, but I believe that Neil Walker brought a Penguins jersey that Gelbs has to wear now.
Oh, really?
Oh. Huge Rangers fan. Yeah.
Very nice. Nicely done, Neil.
Sorry, Steve.
Steve is becoming the butt of a lot of our jokes here. Well, they probably had a bet on it. Because the Rangers played the Penguins in the first round, right?
Did.
Guys, yes, Gary, you were speaking a little out of turn. Okay.
Sorry, Steve.
He does not have a Penguins jersey for me to wear. The bet was, and I guess I'll do it right now, that I have to just on the air publicly congratulate the Pittsburgh Penguins on a job well done. And congratulations to Neil Walker. If they would have lost, though, he would have done an interview with me in a Henrik Lundqvist jersey.
I don't know. The congratulations seems a little tame.
Well, it was
Steve.
3-1 Pens at the time we made the bet, so I needed to have a little extra coming my way.
Guerrero flicks one out to left, and Joyce has plenty of room, and that retires the side. We head for the 7th. Bartolo Colon working on a shutout. By your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers, Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. Andrew McCutchen leads off the 7th inning and tries to hold, and foul tips it. McCutchen got his first hit in the series his last time up, banging one off the wall and left for a double, one of only 3 hits given up by Bartolo Colon tonight. McCutchen snapped an 0 for 18 stretch with that double, the longest 0 for of his major league career. Been troubled times for McCutchen, but he's back in his favorite 3-hole in the batting order, and Clint Hurdle says he plans to leave him there for the long term. That's hit toward the hole and past the dive of Walker, and McCutchen's got his 2nd hit of the night.
Well, McCutchen showing some signs here now. Coming out of it,
Difference is this fastball's up, not the one on the knees he's been throwing for most of the evening.
Second time tonight the Pirates have the leadoff man on, their 4th hit of the game, and now Jung-Ho Kang, who's 0 for 2. Kang hits a rocket, grabbed by Johnson, out at second. Walker the turn, double play. An absolute bullet off the bat of Kang, and Johnson starts the 5-4-3 double play.
That's the second ball that Gong has hit hard. This is a hang with him. Nice play by Kelly. Ball hit that hard, you're going to turn it. Nice turn by Walker. All the way around, beautiful.
Second double play of the night turned on the Mets infield. Gong, remember, was robbed by Conforto on that great play back in the first. And now another bullet results this time in 2 outs. David Freese lined out his last time up, hit it right at Loney to end the 4th inning. Well, here's Colon at 76 pitches with 2 out in the 7th. Remember, he's the last Met to throw a complete game or a shutout. It was last September against Milwaukee.
I said it a couple innings ago. Wouldn't it be strange if Bartolo, a night after Syndergaard's gem last night, he's the one that throws a complete game shutout? He could do it.
Give Noah something else to aim for. Still has 7 outs to get there.
No stretching, nothing. Out
Well,
there in the
except
bullpen.
for Robles.
Oh, he's already stretched.
Only stretching for fly balls. 0-2 coming. And he struck him out. High fastball from Colon. And much frustration for David Freese. 6 strikeouts for Bart in 7 scoreless innings. Anderson and Walker and Conforto, but look at that run scored for Bartolo Colon. That's the big number. As Yoenis Cespedes, who drove in Colon with a sacrifice fly, has also walked and grounded out 0 for 1. A.J. Schugels worked an inning and 2/3 in relief and still going. Cespedes, Walker, and Conforto up for the Mets in the home 7th. That's with their 2nd straight fun night at the ballpark. 11-2 last night and up 6-0 in the 7th tonight. They're going to take 2 out of 3 from the Pirates after having lost 10 of 11 to Pittsburgh going back a couple of seasons. where they got swept in the season series by the Pirates last year. Schugel misses with a changeup, 2-1.
Schugel's going to have to be careful with that changeup to Cespedes.
Neil Walker's had a big night back in the lineup tonight. He's on deck. And Cespedes hits it out to center, deep. McCutchen back to the warning track. He's got room and reels it in. Just a little off the end of the bat from Cespedes, and he hits it 400 feet.
Ball out over the plate, belt high, had to reach for it. We see that all the time, but the ball is up and it's away enough. You see he gets a lot of his lower half into that swing too. Has more of the traditional swing, not the roid swing, all upper body.
Here's Walker, has driven in 3 runs tonight with a home run and a double. So Neil's back, you would certainly think, is feeling a lot better based on his performance tonight.
Well, I think what'll be interesting is how he feels tomorrow. Right?
Well, the Mets have had plenty of bad news today. David Wright undergoing surgery, which is going to keep him out for a long time. Juan Lagares going on the DL. Walker tops one down to first, and Freese plays it. Wilmer Flores forced to leave the game after being hit by a pitch, although the diagnosis on Wilmer was positive. No break detected in the x-rays, just a contusion. But there's been a lot to like tonight. Walker's performance at the plate and also Michael Conforto. Conforto's hit the ball hard 3 times in a row, and when's the last time we saw that?
Yeah.
Michael's got a home run and a single, and the only time he was retired, Harrison robbed him with a great diving play.
Conforto 3 rockets today, and here's the biggest rocket launcher. That was back in the 3rd inning, a solo shot on a hanging slider. And what a difference 3 games make. 4 games. Sat out for missed 3 games, got the cortisone shot, and it's hit 3 bullets.
And made a great play in left field.
He sure did. That was the play of the day.
Always wonder, you know, great defensive play sometimes can jumpstart you.
It was in the top of the 1st.
Well, he had 4 days to clear his head. He wasn't playing. Okay, he got the cortisone shot. A lot of time, you take a little BP. I'm sure he did not want to aggravate the wrist, but just to get away from the rut you're in, and it just clears your head. You go in fresh, and hopefully you hit the ball hard the first time up, and you're on your way.
I always think the hardest thing for young players, especially hitters, is that you start looking over your shoulder a little bit. You start thinking that, you know, I better get 2 hits tonight. I got to get 2 hits, you know, and that can sometimes snowball.
Well, it's more difficult when you're a young player and you're trying to establish yourself. You put more pressure on yourself.
Popped up, long run for Gong, and he gets there in foul territory to retire the side. So Schugel sets down the Mets 1-2-3. We go to the 8th, 6-0 New York. have played the most games at third base for the Mets all time. Well, you know number 1.
Yeah.
You should know number 2.
Yeah.
Then who's number 3?
Very interesting.
Could be 2 guys.
Wayne Garrett?
I don't think so. Although he's probably in the top 5. Bartolo Colon, 7 scoreless innings under his belt. Faces Matt Joyce leading off in the 8th. Bart has gone beyond 7 innings only once this year. He threw 8 scoreless against the Braves back on May 2nd. John Jaso is on deck to pinch hit. And Joyce takes a strike 1-1.
Is the late Don Zimmer the first third baseman?
Was, yes. Well, for a long time, the Mets had remarkable instability at third.
Yes.
And then Howard Johnson came along and stabilized it. Jerry Blevins up in the Mets bullpen with Bart pitching in the 8th. Joyce unloads deep center field. Cespedes takes a look, but that is way out of here. And for Matt Joyce, that is his 100th career home run. And it breaks up the Bartolo Colon shutout bid. It's now 6-1 New York.
Well, Joyce loves that ball down and in, or down out over the plate.
Is that a changeup? A rare changeup from Colon? No, fastball.
Right down. Didn't run away enough.
Boy, he's got some tremendous power.
I mean, that's a long, long way.
Never see anyone hit the ball there.
They'll get that ball back for Joyce. Milestone for him, his 100th career home run. And now John Jaso will pinch it. Had 3 hits last night.
Joyce tried to play skee ball with the apple, didn't he? How many points is that? 50.
That's Travis d'Arnaud territory, right?
Yeah.
The direct hit last year, 444 feet on the Joyce home run. And he's trying to get the authenticator's attention to have them retrieve the ball and authenticate it for him, thinking maybe they don't realize that it was a milestone for him.
He's getting the call right now.
First they have to find the ball somewhere out in the black.
Skee ball, you might have to put a quarter in to get it out.
Roll down a little chute. I don't know how that works in the apple territory. Steve Gelb's right on the case. Hi, Steve.
Telling the bat boy to run over there in between innings and drop the bomb on him.
Three-two coming, and Jaso takes strike 3 call.
Oh, we got the call.
7 strikeouts for Colon, matching his season high.
Wants it away, misses on the other side of the plate. Well, got a good view of the umpire. He's right there on the inside corner. That's too close to take, Ronnie. That is too. Why'd they get rid of the black on the corners?
Painting the corners. Right there. Stop by your local Sherwin-Williams store for all your painting needs.
Very good, Garrett.
Seriously. Pulled foul off the bat of Eric Kratz. Kratz is 0 for 2 tonight. Grounded out once into a double play. Kratz started the year in the American League. He's now 2 for 38 at the plate this year. The authenticator trying to get somebody's attention to retrieve that baseball.
Gelbs, you just tell him to go out there and get the 100th ball. I mean, he doesn't need to talk anymore. Come on, bro.
The question is, whose responsibility is it to crawl out into the black?
You got off the phone. You guys trying to get that ball?
What's that?
Oh, you guys trying to get that ball?
I don't know.
Tell them.
Yeah, we're trying to get that ball.
All right. They're trying to get that ball.
Kratz strikes out, and that's 8 strikeouts for Colon, and that's a new season high for Bart. Steve, best interview of the season.
Steve, did you tell him it was his 100th home run?
Yeah.
Okay.
100th home run. 100th home run.
And tell him that he wants the ball. And that Joyce is very, very eager.
Keith wants you to know, we're on the air, by the way, that it's Joyce's.
His phone's on
100th home run. Well, he's getting another call, guys. I don't want to keep bothering him. All right.
No,
he's on it.
He's getting the call to say, please get off the air with SNY. That's what he's getting the call about.
Oh, there's the ball. Nick Leyva has it.
They got it. I think they got it.
All right, cool.
That's going to the file.
Steve, you're making like Jimmy Olsen down there.
Rodriguez cracks one to left center, and that'll sail to the wall on one hop. And Sean Rodriguez heads for second and slides in safely with a 2-out double. So the second extra base hit of the inning against Cologne. Right now, let's check in with Garrett Burke in the studio for another game break brought to you by the New York State Smokers Quit Line. And the Braves will be here tomorrow night. Mets will play the Braves 7 times in the next 9 games, with a red-hot Freddie Freeman arriving. Cycle last night, first cycle in the majors this year, and incredibly for the Braves, who have been playing in the National League since 1876, only the 7th cycle in their history.
Wow. They've had some pretty good hitters over the ages.
Yeah, that Aaron guy was okay.
Matthews.
Dale Murphy.
Felipe Alou. Joe Adcock. Red Shandies.
Cologne at 96 pitches, trying to get through the 8th inning for the second time this season. Facing Josh Harrison, who's 1 for 3.
I think this is going to be Bart's last inning. They're hitting him a little bit hard this inning, but the big lead here, Terry's trying to help just get him through this inning and bring in someone to close it out.
Yeah, he's a little tired. Ball's up in the strike zone. Needs one more good pitch. Get out of it.
By the way, we mentioned a season high 8 strikeouts for Cologne tonight, and that ties him with Dwight Gooden on the all-time strikeout list, 2,293, tied for 49th place. Oh, not only do you not get the ball, but you lose your beverage.
It got him in the cup.
That's a rough day. 1-2. Hit hard and up the middle, a base hit. Rodriguez turns third and heads on home. Josh Harrison with an RBI single, and now the Pirates with a couple of runs home here in the 8th. It's 6-2, and that might be the end of the line for Cologne.
I believe so.
Well, they've got Blevins ready in the bullpen. The left-hand batter Polanco coming up, and Terry tried to nurse him through the 8th, but Bart giving up 3 hard hit balls here in the 8th inning. The Pirates have a couple of runs home, and Blevins will try and get one big out to end this inning. Another big effort for Bartolo Colon. Pitching change brought to you by Empire City Casino. the Matt Joyce 100th home run ball, and he's set to put his stamp of approval on it. Just has another phone call to make. Jerry Blevins comes in to face Gregory Polanco. 2 runs home for the Pirates here in the 8th.
Well, Blevins hasn't pitched since last Friday. It's interesting. He's a specialty lefty who has had a lot of time off in between his appearances. You don't see that. Those guys will appear in 4 out of 5 games a lot.
Polanco's 0 for 3 tonight. A ground ball and 2 strikeouts against Cologne. Harrison at first with 2 out, and Blevins fires a fastball for a strike. So Cologne goes 7 2/3, 7 hits, 2 runs so far, no walks, 8 strikeouts, a home run. In line for his 6th win against 3 losses. If the bullpen can get 4 outs for him.
No walks, right?
Never.
Right.
13 walks in 80 2/3 innings. Remember, 5 of those came in 1 game. Knocked down by Rivera, and no advance.
So the last 2 nights, your starting pitchers have given you 16 innings of work, no walks, and 19 strikeouts.
I don't. It's impressive with the strikeouts, but just as long as they get the outs, it's just been 2 really fine pitched ball games back to back.
Well, the Mets for the season, their pitching staff has given up the fewest walks by far of any staff in the league, and the 2nd fewest home runs. And it's a nice combination.
That's been a theme since Dan Worthen's been here, to tell you the truth. The teams have been very good at that.
Polanco hits the curveball to right. Granderson cutting over, and he makes the grab to end the inning. Another hard hit ball that results in an out. Pirates get 2, but the Mets lead 6-2 going to the bottom of the 8th. Jets are looking to help local leagues in need with grants, equipment donations, clinics, and special Jets experiences. Does your league need assistance? Apply today at sny.tv/playball. Host of changes for the Pirates. John Jaso, who pinch hit, stays in the game at first. David Freese moves from first base to second. Josh Harrison moves from second base to right field. And the new pitcher, Neftali Feliz, will hit on the 2 spot on the order.
Drafted by the Atlanta Braves, sent to the Texas Rangers in the Mark Teixeira trade, and now second life here with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Kelly Johnson leads off and takes ball one. Johnson came in early in this game when Wilmer Flores was hit by a pitch on his left hand. Had to leave. X-rays were negative, just a contusion for Wilmer, and we'll see how long, if any time, he has to miss. A.J. Schugel did a nice job in long relief for the Pirates. 2 2/3, no runs, 2 hits. So now the question is, after Familia came in an 11-run game last night, does he pitch in a 4-run game tonight?
No, definitely not. I don't think so. Ron.
No,
you got to have him just in case something happens, but you got to hope someone can come in and put it in the books for the troops.
Thank you, Howie. It's 2 nights in a row now.
No, I'll stop.
There's nobody up in the Mets bullpen at the moment, so it could be that Blevins will continue on. Johnson spokes one the other way for a base hit. 98-mile-an-hour fastball from Feliz, and Johnson takes it the other way. Let's answer our Verizon trivia question. 3 third basemen with the most games. Well, David Wright's number 1.
Right.
Ojo's number 2.
Yeah.
And it's either Fonzie or Hubie Brooks third.
Hubie.
Fonz. Oh, ouch.
Wayne Garrett.
I was right.
You had it right. Nice job, Keith.
Thank you.
Very nicely done.
Yes.
Of course, Wayne Garrett, big piece of the Mets
69
championship teams, 69 and 73.
He hit under 200 that year, did he not? In 69?
He was a rookie in 69.
Yeah.
He shared time with Ed Charles at third base, one of the many platoons Gil Hodges had on that team.
He came over late in the end of his career to St. Louis for 1 season. I don't know if he made the entire year with us, but he was such a great guy. I really loved Wayne.
And Wayne started that tradition that the Mets had, where the leadoff hitter in Game 3 of the World Series hit a home run.
That's right.
Right, he did it, and then Agee did it, and then
Sonny Dykstra
did it.
Nails. Tugger.
Well, that picture there, that's you with 2 guys who we lost at entirely too young an age.
Yes.
Tommy Agee and Tug McGraw.
No doubt.
James Loney 0 for 3 tonight. Mets now have 10 hits, double digits for the 2nd straight night, after a season high 19 last night. And now Feliz runs behind Loney 3-1 with Rene Rivera on deck. Still nobody up in the bullpen. Blevins due up 4th in the inning. Johnson at first and nobody out. And Loney flies one down the left side out of play. 3-2. Tomorrow night, Mets and Braves. 7 meetings in the next 9 games. It starts tomorrow night with Matt Harvey on the mound against John Gant. Our coverage begins tomorrow night at 6 o'clock on SNY. By the way, I got those Game 3 home runs backwards. It was Agee in 69 and Garrett in 73. Of course.
Nails.
Nails in 86.
No one last year.
Hit hard toward the hole, a base hit. Johnson was on the move, and he'll go first to third. So with 3-2 and nobody out, Johnson was running, and the Mets have runners at the corners with nobody out.
Well, absolutely run them 3-2. You're up 4 runs. Nicely done by Loney. Get some more insurance runs.
Now Rene Rivera, who's another good offensive night, 1 for 2 and a walk. Alejandro Diaz has come out on deck, so eventually somebody will get up in the bullpen. there after a 3-hit game last night. Takes outside ball 1. He hit one through the shortstop Rodriguez's last time up. There's De Aza on deck, looking to snap a long offer of his own. Slider off the plate from Philly is 2-0.
It's always interesting to watch the third base coach with Kelly at third. It's almost like Tuff takes the same lead as Kelly Johnson and almost goes back to his playing days of kind of reading the ball off the bat.
Pulled down to third. Gong will go to first with it and get the out. Advancing to second is Loney. Johnson holds at third.
Well hit hard. Hang with him. Right at Gong, who shows hands again. Got down on one knee. Almost went through the wickets.
I think he was just conscious that if he went around the horn, Kelly Johnson might try to take off.
Right.
I don't think that would have happened.
So now the infield comes all the way in with De Aza pinch hitting. Second and third and 1 out. De Aza 0 for his last 16. And takes inside from Phillies. SNY's Super Slow Motion brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. Madison Reed taking his time before he starts loosening up. Is he waiting for the second out? Aza fouls it back, 1-1. Well, Phillies is certainly throwing hard.
Yeah, he still has that great arm. To me, watching him, he looks like he's throwing more than pitching, though, you know. Just trying to throw as hard as he can. Had some outstanding years as the closer for the Texas Rangers. Was the closer in 2011 when they were a strike away. Now his teammate is the one, David Freese.
The guy who denied them. Yeah. A nice looking breaking ball at the feet of De Aza, 1-2.
Not a strike. Starts out a strike. Tough to lay off.
Johnson at third, Loney at second with 1 out. Curtis Granderson waiting on deck. 1-2 to De Aza. And that comes inside at 99 miles an hour, 2-2.
So that was a show me pitch to De Aza. Can Feliz execute that slider again? Do it once. Can he do it again?
Jared Hughes busy in the Pirates bullpen. Two. This is inside that time. Full count to De Aza. Granderson next. Robles alongside Reed in the Mets bullpen.
In case the Mets score a couple, will probably be Robles. If they don't, it'll be Reed.
At least if they need someone to catch a long fly ball. 3-2 coming. And De Aza got a piece of the slider.
That's the right pitch to throw if you're Feliz with the base open. You don't want to give in to the batter here.
Two. De Aza floats one to the shallow left. Coming on is Joyce, and he makes the catch. And diving back into second is Loney, and holding at third is Johnson. Loney thought that ball was going to fall in, and he had to quickly reverse course and get back into second base.
Yep, that was a misread right there. If you're the runner on third, you can't score if it's caught, so you should come out halfway. Once you're sure you can get back, sure, but usually you want to go halfway if it drops.
You know, if we want to, oh, they're making a pitching change. I was going to go into something, but we'll do it another time.
So Phillies will exit. Jared Hughes comes in. 6-2 New York in the 8th. We'll be right back.
Wow.
Jared Hughes trying to get his breath. After sprinting in from the bullpen, he faces Curtis Granderson, second and third and 2 out.
Last time we saw Hughes on the mound, if you remember, in Pittsburgh, he gave up that 2-run home run to Michael Conforto. There's his numbers for the season. Sinker ball pitcher.
Granderson 2 for 4 tonight, including a leadoff home run in the first inning. His 17th Mets leadoff home run. That's a new franchise record. And his 6th this season. Granderson trying to get a couple of tack-on runs home. And it's a late swing foul, 1-2. Johnson led off the inning with a base hit. James Loney followed with one. Mets at first and third and nobody out. Now in danger of leaving them out there with 2 out and a 1-2 count to Granderson. And Curtis lifts one down the left field line. Over goes Joyce toward the corner. Makes a brilliant catch. Matt Joyce, defensively challenged, makes an outstanding play to save 2 runs.
Well, he ran a long way for this one. He got to this one. Clint Hurdle's made a bunch of changes in his starting lineup. Now, Joyce was a starter, but his defense was challenged. Nice play by Joyce.
We go to the 9th, 6-2 New York. Addison Reed pitching the ninth, and he gets a swinging strike to Andrew McCutchen, who's had a better night tonight, going 2 for 3.
Well, Reed's numbers just outstanding. I think of anyone in that bullpen, you know, you expected it from Familia. You just didn't know from Addison Reed, and he's been, boy, better than advertised.
Did you see that number at the bottom of Reed's chart there? First batter faced is hitting .065 against him. What an incredible asset that is for a reliever. Get that first man out. He's got McCutchen, Gong, and Freeze to face in the ninth inning. And that's drilled deep left field. Back toward the corner, Conforto, and it's gone. Well, he doesn't get the first batter tonight. Andrew McCutchen with his 10th home run of the year. He's had a breakout night, double, single, and now home run. And now it's 6-3 New York.
Tried to quick pitch him, and McCutchen was ready.
Well, McCutchen, who has been struggling, has hit the ball squarely all 4 at bats. I'm sorry, the 3 of the 4 at bats. Well, Reed likes to do this. Doesn't have to stop when there's no one on base. Doesn't have to come to a pause and hit at the belt when it's stretched when no one's on base. And it did not trick McCutchen. Looked to me like he had to be looking in. That ball was almost 6 inches inside.
He was quick.
The second home run Addison Reed's allowed this year. Now Jung Ho Gong, who's hit a couple of bullets that turned into outs. Conforto robbed him back in the first inning. Then he had a shot at third base that turned into a double play in the 7th. And Jerry's Familia now on call. And Gong hits it toward the gap in left center. That heads toward the wall and short hops it. And Gong pulls in with a double. So back-to-back extra base hits against Addison Reed, who has been almost impregnable this year. But all of a sudden the Pirates have it working here in the ninth.
Another fastball in and up. He's got to start maybe mixing in that outside corner.
Well, that's a good call, Keith. That's really what Reed has done best all year long, is own that outside corner and down on the knees to right-handed hitters. And there's Dan Worthington to the phone.
Well, Familia has been throwing. It would now be a save situation if you went to your closer. But it looks like Reed will get at least one more batter with David Freese coming up.
Well, Familia has not been throwing
he's
long.
not going to get one more batter.
Long enough.
I guess they killed enough time. And Terry Collins is on his way out to the mound. So after Reed, in a rare bobble, gives up a home run and a double, it'll be straight to Familia for the save chance. Familia 21 for 21 this year, and he'll try and make it 22 tonight. 6-3 New York in the ninth. Not over yet. We'll be right back. consecutive regular season saves converted.
Since August 1st of last year. Familia. Tough one here.
That's at a 6-0 lead going to the 8th. Now the Pirates need just one more base runner to get the tying run to the plate. David Freese the batter with Gong at second and nobody out. Freese is 0 for 3 tonight. And he hits the comebacker. Familia takes a look and then throws to first. One pitch for Jay Reese and one out.
Not a great fielder, Familia.
But perfect fundies, Keith. He captures it, looks the runner back.
It wasn't pretty, but he made the play.
Now he'll face Matt Joyce. 1 inning after Joyce's 100th career home run, which has been retrieved and authenticated.
And a game-saving, not game-saving, but saved 2 runs in the bottom of the bottom of the 8th. Sorry.
Well, Joyce with his bat can make that catch even bigger. Mike, the authenticator, still working on it.
Oh, his phone's blowing up.
And Joyce fouls off the first pitch sinker. So both hitters here in a spot where they need one more base runner to get the tying run up have gone after the first pitch.
It's those days are gone. Against real elite closers, and I don't blame them. Sometimes it's tough to take a pitch because you can't give up a strike.
Got to keep the ball away from this guy. They want to try to hit a home run, try to hit this sinker down and away.
That's driven out to right field. Granderson back onto the warning track at the wall. It's over his head. He knocks it down. Gong had to hold off. He goes to third, and in at second base is Joyce with a ringing double. And now the tying run will come to bat. The third extra base hit of the inning for the Pirates.
Just out of the reach of Granderson. And hit his body. If it didn't hit his body on the ricochet, Gong is going to score, and it could be a triple if that thing comes out into the outfield. Gong, I don't know what he's tagging up for.
Yeah, there's no need to tag there.
Got to go halfway, score easily.
Well, those runs mean nothing anyway. The only guy that matters is the one at the plate. As John Jaso comes up for the second time. So the Pirates, who were down by 6 runs an inning ago, now have the tying run at bat. Jaso struck out against Cologne in the 8th inning after a 3-hit game last night. And a ground ball for Walker. Another first pitch swing, and that's the second out. In to score comes Gong to make it 6-4. But now the Pirates are down to their final out of the night.
Gong has got to be halfway and score on that double. You never know, but the ricochet is off, and then Joyce is a triple. It's a brand new ball game here, but they're down to their last out.
Eric Kratz is 0 for 3 tonight and 2 for 39 this season. Final hope for the Pirates. And I can only imagine that this means that Chris Stewart, their regular catcher, is not available.
Yes.
Otherwise, you got to bat for Kratz in this spot.
I think that's why Kratz started 2 days in a row. Sorry, Keith.
Starling Marte, the only other guy left on the bench, and he got hurt last night when he got hit in the face. So Kratz forced to bat in this spot. A ball and a strike coming up tonight after the post game. Geico Sports Night. David Wright's surgery today. Jets news and Giants news as well. Geico Sports Night after the post game. There's Marte, who got hit in the cheek last night and is sitting out tonight.
His .332 batting average on the Pine.
Kratz the tying run at the plate in a 6-4 game. And he pops it up. Granderson coming in, has it lined up. And the ball game is over. Jerry's Familia staggers a bit, but converts a save for the 38th straight time in the regular season. A brilliant outing for Bartolo Colon. Great return to the lineup for Neil Walker and Michael Conforto. And the Mets take the rubber game from the Pirates 6-4.
Well, some of the same from yesterday with Syndergaard, who was so good over 8 1/3 innings. Same for Bartolo over 7 2/3. Both of those pitchers now have put the Mets on a little bit of a roll here.
And also 11 hits for the Mets again. They're coming around with the bat. Walker comes off missing 3 games, as well as Conforto. They both contribute 4 RBIs between them, 2 home runs, 3 for Walker, 1 for Conforto. Very good offensive night for the Metsies.
Tonight's game summary presented by Fidelis Care. Cologne now 6-3, lowers his ERA to 3.01. Not bad for a 43-year-old. He also contributed a double and scored a run. Walker, Conforto, Granderson all homered, and the Mets win 6-4. For every Mets win, the Mets organization is proud to contribute $2,500 to Northwell Health and the Cass Institute for Women's Health. For more information, visit northwellhealth.com/KIWH. This win brings the total contribution so far this season to $90,000. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Empire City Casino, Manhattan's closest casino. Game on. By the Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid, go beyond utility. By Cure Auto Insurance, 25 years of saving you money. Drive well. By Citi, proud partner of the New York Mets. And by Time Warner Cable. Enjoy all the things you love better with Time Warner Cable. Call 1-855-WANT-TWC today. Mets win 6-4 over the Pirates, take 2 out of 3 in the series. Now they welcome in the Braves for the first of 3 tomorrow night with Matt Harvey on the mound against former Met farmhand John Gant. Coverage begins tomorrow night at 6 o'clock right here on SNY. Now for Keith Hernandez, Ron Darling, Steve Gelbs, the Authenticator, and our entire SNY crew. I'm Gary Cohen at Citi Field. Time for WB Mason post-game live. Let's join Gary and Nelson in the studio.